At this stage, a massive infection caused by Dr. Debaki's splenectomy, his negligence in not leaving a drain, injuring the pancreas, using steroids which masked the infection, the mixing of chemo drugs, and 2 months' delay in treating the subphrenic abscess are the main reasons for the Shah's deteriorating health, and not his cancer.
And finally, Dr. Flandrin called a specialist in France by the name of Dr. Fagnier, who specialized, strangely enough, in complications of surgery, to come to Egypt and operate on the Shah.
They had to call a French surgeons to go and correct the problem. It's sad.
And what I heard later from one of the Egyptian doctors was they were really very upset with the French. And they told Sadat about it, and Sadat, being a clever man, came over and saw the Shah. And he said to the Egyptian doctors, "Can't you see this man is dying?" He said, "Let them take the heat for it."
Dr. Fagnier operated on the Shah almost immediately, drained the subphrenic abscess, and then he drained approximately 1.5 liters of pus. But he had really suffered from this infection for a long time. And in July of 1980, he finally lapsed into a coma and died. I think that he suffered for much too long with a subphrenic abscess. Could have been drained a long time before that. But because there were too many doctors involved, too many interpretations, he endured much too much for too long.
The whole thing is a book of malpractice from the point of view of hematology, oncology, surgery, handling the complications.
What happened here is you had too many cooks spoiling the broth. Now, there were huge political ramifications, but you got to have a captain at the helm, and a captain at the helm whose only agenda is to get that patient better.
It's sad that a person with so much power, so much money, couldn't get the care that he needed because of his political needs and the political situation of the American government and the Iranian government and everybody else involved.
Through what seemed to be some small medical decisions, that it changed the consequences of that revolution in U.S. relationships with that part of the world. It wasn't so much, I think, the death of the Shah as it was the way his health issues were handled.
The Shah got into a position of where he was almost never seeing the reality of his sickness, of his relationships, of his positions, of the people who were taking care of him. And it had to result in a personal disaster for him.
Mohammad Reza Pahlavi died on the morning of July 27, 1980, at 9:50 a.m., aged 60 years old. He was buried at the Al-Rifai Mosque in Cairo, the same mausoleum where years earlier his predecessor and father Reza Shah was initially buried in exile. On January 16th, 1979, the Shah left Iran for the last time. 10 days prior to his departure, the heads of the four great Western powers, the United States, Britain, Germany, and France, met in the small Caribbean island of Guadeloupe to decide the future of the King of Kings and his nation, Iran. After all, this was the year their oil contracts were to expire.
در این موقع آقای ژیسکاردستان وارد میشه میگه که نه دیگه تمام شد عمر شاه ساعت روزهای شاه شمرده شده و راه مرض سرطان داره و شاه خواهد رفت باید به فکر یه چیز دیگه بکنیم